What is good, guys? King's Vault here. Now, just when I thought the Pokemon market couldn't get any more insane, we're now seeing large institutional buyouts of PSA 10 cards, specifically Grey Felt Hat Pikachu. It's an incredible card and it's making some ridiculous moves right now, drawn mainly by talk of a 25% buyout and people thinking, damn, if I want this card, this might be my last chance. Hence the price flying up, even though it was already high. Now, I do believe this is an absolutely beautiful card, and naturally as the price goes up, it sort of becomes more desirable because it starts to feel more and more like an art piece, even if there is so many out there. Now, of course, based on an iconic original piece of art, meshing that with Pikachu and Pokemon as a whole, but still having that authentic sort of feel, the art style really is Van Gogh. It's an incredible piece, and it's no surprise it's so desirable, but this recent news has taken it from desirable to an absolute must-have, and people are really desperate to get their hands on this card. Now, essentially, this is built off the back of a company called Meme Strategy, which does literally sound like a meme, but is seemingly legit. There's some reasonable people behind this. I think one of the owners of 9gag. So, like, there's people that have money that are part of this organization, an investment fund, I suppose, and it's moving in the world of tokenization. To my understanding, that is them having a large holding and people owning a small piece of that. So you might own 10% of a Grey Felt Hat Pikachu. Can barely get my words out. And that feels like the way the market might be moving. These things are becoming so desirable. There's 40,000 PSA 10s, and there's way more than 40,000 people that want a piece of this card. So this move doesn't surprise me all that much. So we'll talk about how the prices have moved in a moment. But, you know, it goes without saying. I mean, the card is incredible. I'm kind of mad I don't have it in my collection. And at these prices, I never will. I think I've just accepted that. I think a lot of people are in the same place. And I think a lot of people that have waited to buy it, now they're seeing talk of a 25% buyout. They're thinking it really is now or never. And that's why we're seeing the price run. So this article kind of goes around the houses a little bit. It's not particularly well written, but interestingly, it talks about the population of the PSA 10s being permanently capped at 47,000. We obviously know this not to be the case because there could be hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of currently raw cards that could be graded and turned into a 10. But, you know, how much more is that number going to grow? Most people that have this card and know they have it have probably sent it off for grading because there's just so much money behind it if you can get a 10. And what's crazy is there's 47,000 PSA 10s. I think that's backed up with the actual number. So just shy of 47,000. It's got a pretty high gem rate, nearly 50% gem rate. So if you've got this card and you haven't graded it, you really need to think hard and, you know, get on with that because frankly, I mean, I say get on with it, maybe wait another year and God knows what price it will be, but this card is in a weird spot right now. Everyone's realizing that this might be the last time to pick it up at a reasonable price because there's talk of a 25% buyout. Now, the question is, has this been done already? If so, maybe it's already made a move, but I feel like if it had, we would have seen a lot more movement over the past few months. And also, if this company haven't made that buyout, why on earth would they release this information to the market before they've done it? It's a little bit of a weird one and it makes me somewhat skeptical, but it doesn't surprise me in general with regards to kind of where the market is moving. Pokemon moving in the direction of institutional investments does not surprise me. People are realizing that the money that can be made from collectibles as a whole, but specifically Pokemon, is a genuine asset class. Like, you can't deny how, you know, sealed product and cards like this have moved over the past literally decades now. There is years and years of kind of market data to support this. So when you actually look at the card, as you say, we're seeing it, as I say, we're seeing it sell for £2,000, around $2,500. We've seen some selling for around $3,000. One here, for example, I'm pretty sure this one sold, yeah, so $3,000, over £2,000. There's 46,000 of these, bear in mind, and there could be plenty more. There might be a lot more in people's collections that need to be graded. Maybe we see this hit 60, 70,000 over the next few years. Seems unlikely, but it's likely to grow somewhat. And when you think about it as a market cap, 46,000 cards, each worth around £2,000 or $3,000. That is one of the most highly valued cards in the Pokemon world, to be honest, when you think about it like that, just because of the sheer quantity, but the fact the value is so high as well. Multiplying the two together, you're talking scary numbers. And that 25% position that this company might be buying out is going to be exceptionally expensive. But this is just a weird moment for the hobby. Maybe there's not total, you know, I don't know whether to necessarily believe this is happening. Something about it feels a little off, but it doesn't surprise me that we're even talking about this, or that the market is moving in this direction, or that people are even considering these sort of moves, because the data is kind of hard to ignore. And I think picking this card to do a 25% buyout is certainly brave, and there has to be a lot of money behind this. But if you're going to do it with any card, this has, in my opinion, possibly the most wide appeal of any Pokemon card ever created. The reason I say this is because anyone that loves Pokemon sees the Pikachu, they know of Van Gogh, so it instantly becomes a cool art piece, and you know where this artwork came from, the art style, it's instantly iconic. But even for people that don't necessarily care that much about Pokemon, they will have heard about Pikachu, and if they have any interest in the art world, they're going to be aware of Van Gogh. So seeing these two together, it has so much wide appeal, and I think that's reflected in the cost. It's something I'd love to have in my collection, but I don't think I can justify these costs these days. This feels like one that every Pokemon fan should have sitting on their shelf, but there's only 40,000 of them out there, and turns out it's pretty desirable because everyone is trying to buy it. So it's kind of crazy. We're in a crazy time. The Pokemon market is showing no signs of stopping, and whether this is totally legit or just kind of a sort of fluff piece here, the fact that we're even having these conversations, and there's talk of large buyouts, we're talking about tokenization. What comes next? Are we going to see, we've seen Bitcoin ETFs. What's next? A Pokemon ETF? If we see that in the next decade, I don't know. Do I sound crazy? I wouldn't be surprised. The Pokemon market is unstoppable. It's showing no signs of stopping. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this a good or a bad thing for the hobby? It's hard to see this as a negative. In terms of people that wanted to collect this card, it's probably not a good thing because you might struggle to pick it up now at any price that isn't insane. But as a collector and investor, seeing more eyes on the hobby is always going to be a win. We'll have to see how it all pans out. Let me know down in the comments. Drop a like if you haven't already. This is one of my first videos on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I think it's because I'm a tiny channel, you can click hype. If you watch this video, click hype. It'll probably help me out. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Love.